Hey, 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 everyone. We are live back again with the beautiful Faith Costa. Faith, I miss you.
I miss you.
Yes, and today's conversation is going to be really interesting because we're talking about finding peace. And I think that is both something that you and I need at every
Yes.
and with that, I think what we will first do is talk about what we're going to cover for today. So for everyone tuning in, we're going to do introductions. We're going to talk about specifically what the problem is and is there a solution, and then some resources and words of wisdom. But first and foremost, introductions. Faith, can you introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello, everyone. I am Faith. I am a plus size model, influencer, artist. I'm all things positivity, love, and light.
Yes,
And I'm so happy to be here.
absolutely. And share with people kind of how you got started and when you got started and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So I started my career about 5 years ago through Instagram. Was really launched everything for me with plus size fashion, which then led into modeling and this whole wonderful community that we're a part of now. And it's been a journey. It has been a journey, but I've been really lucky to have done some really amazing things and met some really incredible people. And I'm still creating and making moves in the industry.
Absolutely. I love it. And so for myself, coach, speaker, content creator, I started over 6 years ago, but I feel like that was just like one part of the journey. I think I've, always been really dedicated to wanting to help people all my life, even as a little girl. And, I over 6 years ago, I started Dress Your Mate, which is a coaching and blogging platform designed to help women really elevate in their personal and professional lives. And, was able to come across Faith and was just so enamored by her beauty and her beautiful spirit. And we've been working together for years, and it's just been a journey. I think a journey of love and wonder. And Faith, you guys, you're in good hands here. She is a woman who is just filled with just authentic beauty and wisdom and joy. And so I'm just really excited always to be able to do a program with you. And at the end, we'll share our contact information so that you can get in touch with Faith or myself. And with that, I think we can move on to talking about the problem. So for us and any human being on this planet, I think they can relate to stress. Why? Because it is something I think more apparent than ever with COVID-19 and the aftermath of, whatever this part of the pandemic that we're living through. It is stressful, right? And it is challenging because it has forced us globally to change how we interact, how we look at our own lives, how we orient ourselves in our lives. And is stress, natural or natural? It's unnatural. It is definitely a natural response. However, it can be overwhelming and take over. Faith, would you like to share kind of maybe how stress has played a role in your life up to this day?
I'd say definitely. I am a bundle of stress and anxiety a lot of the time. I've lived with it. I feel like my whole life, and a lot of us do.
Yeah.
But I think especially lately, it's been exacerbated by the pandemic, by the traumas that have been happening, in our country, around us, socially, economically. Everything has a direct impact on us, right?
Yeah.
So for me, my stress has been, I feel like, different, even just like this past year, than it has been in the past, because we're in different circumstances, right?
Yeah.
So things affecting my career, affecting my social life, affecting all these different aspects of my life that weren't necessarily stressors before are stressors now. And so learning about that, learning what that feels like, learning how to deal with that has been a process. But I think it's really important that we can identify this and learn how to cope through it and know that this is temporary. And all these stressors, all the anxieties, are pretty reasonable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty reasonable to feel the way that we're feeling. This isn't irrational. This isn't, anything like that. I think that we all have a right to feel stressed out. And even if it's not a huge part of your life, even if you're generally pretty mellow, even if you just get stressed out once in a while, it's good to know how to take care of yourself, because that affects our bodies. If you get really stressed, your body can get tense and you can get muscle pains. It can affect you not only mentally, but physically as well.
Absolutely.
So I think it's really great that we're having this conversation.
Yeah, and to talk about newfound stress, which is so interesting because like I love what you said, there are things that are now stressful that weren't stressful before. And I think that's one of the symptoms of COVID-19, that like things that like we never thought we had to deal with before or haven't been as prominent before are now just like in your face. And for me, dealing with COVID, somewhat stressful, but most of my life has been kind of, me and my husband like to joke around. We've been socially distancing for 17 years nearly, because we typically are like homebodies. So our social life wasn't dampered, but the idea of like the prohibition of people visiting you, and that is now more of a stressor. And for us, we're also expecting a baby, which is like a whole newfound stress, because yes, it's beautiful, yes, it's a wonderful blessing, but there's a lot of unknowns, right? And for my personality type and how I handle unknowns, right, I naturally, I think, jump to the space of stress as opposed to like being more like laid back and stuff like that. So learning how to identify what your stressors are and then creating an action plan, I think, has been critical for me, so that it doesn't become overwhelming. Because in life, we don't just live or exist in silo of things. We have to do multiple things. So it's like, yes, be pregnant and work and this and that. So how do we take it one day at a time? And what's been interesting is, since you were talking about kind of the mental and physical stress impact, is that like in this recent survey that was done by American Psychological Association last year, adults surveyed that, stress negatively affected their behavior 49% of the time, increased tension in their bodies 21% of the time, caused them to snap out of anger 20% of the time. I definitely could relate to that one.
Yeah, me too. I was just going to say, guilty.
Yes, hardcore, and cause unexpected mood swings, which is interesting because I've definitely been dealing with a lot of that recently. That they claim 20%, but I don't know if that's stress. I don't know if it's pregnancy. I don't know if it's a little bit of both.
Probably.
Yes, and that what's even sadder, right? Nearly 1 in 5 people say their mental health has declined since last year, right? And so are people, even acknowledging, taking the moments to say, hey, how do I feel, right? Because, a lot of times we get so busy in our lives that we don't think about how our life is going and where we want our life to go. And if you don't, then you lose the opportunity to feel good and be present in your life. And that's really critical. So are there any things that stood out to you physically or mental health wise that you really had to like tap into between maybe last year or this year so far with stress?
I would say definitely physically. I think that was a whole new thing for me, because I've had to be isolated, right? We've had to do that. Being just home and not being able to move as much as you normally would.
Yeah.
With the stress on top of that. So I'm sitting here tense all day. And I have felt that direct, result for sure. And figuring out how to feel better and to not make that as severe has been a process, has been a journey. I think that and again, like definitely mentally, it has affected me in a lot of ways. And again, for everyone, whether it's mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, we all have been affected. These are stressful times. It is stressful. But if you're able to acknowledge that and identify it, I think that is the first huge step. Because if we just ignore it and think everything is fine, I think that's when things can get a lot worse. But there are things that you can do. And it's conversations like these. There's actively things that you can do. And again, we're going to talk about these. So this is great.
Absolutely. I would say one thing I have been grateful for, it's interesting. It's like being pregnant is stressful in and of itself, but then also it has forced me to be very cognizant of stress and to not stress out, because as I know, stress is not good for babies, right? And so even when I feel like I'm about to like explode, I like take a step back and say, hey, it's not worth the health of my child, right? It's not worth my son being discomforted. And he actually will literally kick me or punch me whenever I feel like I'm about to, like, it's just getting too tense. All of a sudden I start to feel physical pains and I'm like, all right, bum, I gotcha. All right, we're going to lay down. We're going to drink some water. We're going to take a walk. Like, so he forces me to be like, get it together, mother, get it together. So
he's on top of it.
Yeah, he is. I feel like he's a very intuitive baby. So I'm grateful. And I'm also like, you're killing me because you're on my bladder right now. Stop it.
Oh my God. Right.
It's too funny. Let's see. Okay. So is there a solution? Of course. I am a big proponent, and I hope everyone listening and tuning in is a big proponent of understanding that if there's a problem in this world, there's a born solution, right? So never feel hopeless, never feel like, oh man, I have this and I don't know what to do. Never be in a space of I don't knows. There's always something to do. And so I think there's a lot of different responses that you could kind of tackle stress with, but today's program is about meditation. And we specifically wanted to talk about short bursts of meditation because both Faith and I have talked about this before, and we're like, 10-minute, 20-minute meditation, not our jam, right? Like we're just not there yet. But what do you have? You have 1 minute, right? Like we can do something in 1 minute or 2 minutes or 5 minutes. And before we even get into the meditation exercise today, I just wanted to shout out some like things that why we should consider meditation. So if you're struggling with anxiety, if you're struggling with stress, if you want to improve your health, if you want to improve your sleep, concentration, self-awareness, feeling more rejuvenated, this could be a really good avenue for you. So those seem enticing to you, Faith, right?
Absolutely. Yes. All of those things sound great.
Exactly. So one reason, so I found this on Headspace, which is an app that you guys can use for, kind of mental health, personal development and treatments and stuff like that. And they talk about 1 minute meditations offering the following. It's, a really quick and effective way to just take a break, to step away from what we're doing, to breathe deeply, to recharge and set aside, anyone can set aside 1 minute. So it's accessible, right? So even the busiest person who's like, I don't have time, lies. You have 1 minute and we can do one together. So if everyone is tuning in, let's do this together, because I found this one, and this is from the coachingtoolscompany.com. And I thought it was really cool because I haven't done something with the colors. So are you ready, Faith, to do a 1 minute? Alrighty. So let's get our phones out to make sure we have our timers and all together. We're gonna have to be serious, guys. We have to do this.
Yes.
Okay. So first, let's get comfortable and where you're sitting or standing or whatever you're doing, right? I suggest sitting because I'm pregnant, and let's just sit together and let's have no judgment.
Yes.
Alexa, stop. Alexa's talking in my room. She's killing me right now, guys. She's killing me.
No.
I was having a meeting and Alexa, stop. She was talking and I was just like dying. I was like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Okay. So we laughed. Now we can do step one. We can take a deep breath deeply into our stomach. So let's do it together. Okay. And now we're going to imagine calm as a color. What color would that be for you? So what color is that for you, Faith?
I feel like weirdly it would be like a purple.
Okay.
Don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm looking at the purple.
Yeah. Purple. Okay. So for me,
a yellow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, it's green. It's my favorite color. So it always makes me happy. And so happiness is part of calmness for me. So, okay. So I have that. Okay. Now we can set a time. You can set a timer. I'm afraid to now because technology is scaring me right now. So I'm just going to look at my computer time and we're going to wait for a minute. Okay. So now simply breathe in the color you imagine for calm and breathe out the color that represents your stress and overwhelming. So for me, that's going to be red.
Oh,
right? And then repeat this, taking deep, slow breaths. We're going to do this for 1 minute.
Okay. Setting my timer.
Yes. Okay. I feel calm already. This is awesome.
Right?
This is very, very calming. All right. So for me, it's a minute. Tell us when you're done.
Oh yeah, I got 12 seconds. There it is.
Yeah. Right. Like it doesn't take much, guys, right? It doesn't
No.
take much to just take a couple just of moments for yourself and what I love about a 1 minute meditation is even if you're like, oh, well, what if I don't have this on my phone or what if I don't have this on my guide? Like sometimes I'll just be like in the bathroom or just like in my room or something. And you can come up with any exercise. Like I sometimes like to do like a 1 minute meditation with a mantra, right? Like, so I'll breathe and I'll say, I am powerful and I am capable. Nothing will disturb my peace, right? And I'll just say like a mantra and just do it for a minute. Like you can create your own. You don't have to like follow a particular, there's no one way to find peace in this world. So I wanted to get that out there. But how are you feeling after doing that?
Feel great. I love it.
Exactly. Right. And like you can do that, right? You could do that on a daily if you wanted to, right?
You could do it several times a day. You know what I mean? Everyone has a minute. Whether you're just sitting waiting for a show to come on in between a commercial break, whatever it is, taking a few minutes just to breathe.
Yeah.
I feel like so often, I know for me, I forget to breathe a lot of times.
Wow. Yeah.
When I get stressed out, again, my body tenses up and my breathing is, affected. And so just taking a few seconds to take deep breaths can really just make you feel better.
Absolutely.
And doing that and pairing it with some mindfulness, some grounding exercises, some affirmations is meditation, and it feels good.
Absolutely.
And in whatever form that is for you, do it. If it makes you feel good, it can't hurt.
Absolutely. So with that, here's some resources, guys, for you tuning in. Insight Timer is one that I love. They have a ton of free meditations that you can use, right? So it's not something you have to pay for. I wanted to be really mindful about making this accessible for folks. So there's that. I came across a website called the Monday Campaigns that also has a series of free meditations you can do. Headspace has some free ones. And then of course, YouTube, right? It's like you go to YouTube for everything, for TV, for this. They also have 1 minute meditations that you can totally tap into for free. So really encouraging everyone to take some notes here, take a screenshot if you like, and definitely you can, hit us up and share in the comments if you need help finding any of these. But Insight Timer, the Monday Campaigns, Headspace, and YouTube. So now I guess what I would love, Faith, for you to share maybe some additional words of wisdom that you have for dealing with stress with meditation, and maybe you forget to meditate. What are your go-to things to like finding peace in a 1 minute or less?
Definitely. So again, self-care, I think that's what it's chalked up to, right? Is taking care of ourselves and having that love for ourselves to know that we deserve a minute of peace at the very least. This is the minimum, guys, is 1 minute, right? So whether that's meditating, whether that's, again, listening to your favorite song, which should only be a couple minutes too, or something like that, something that just brings you a little bit of peace that will work, right, is really important to implement that into your life, right? That's a skill. This is a skill that we are learning and that we can actively then use and implement. So it is so important. And I think it takes time and practice, it might feel weird the first couple of times, but you have to figure out the rhythm of
Yes.
what works for you, because we're all different. Not every single type of meditation is going to be for everyone. So you
Yep.
have to find the right fit for you,
Mhm.
whatever that may be. And whether it's meditating for a minute a day on top of doing one little act of something that you enjoy,
Yep.
to make that a part of your schedule. You wake up, you brush your teeth, you eat breakfast, meditate. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's so important. That's something that I'm working on right now as well. This is
Mhm.
something, again, guys, I'm not a professional.
Yeah.
I don't claim to be, but this is something that I'm learning. And, it's so great that we can share it with each other. And Tasha, again, like, you have brought this to me, and I'm so grateful for it, because this is something that I truly am trying to implement more in my life.
Absolutely.
And I hope to share it with my friends and other people, because it does feel just so much better just to ground yourself. And if 1 minute can get you through the rest of the day, truly.
Absolutely. I love, 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 love. See, guys, I told you you're in good hands. Gems of wisdom right after each other. I love it. Yeah. And, I would say first and foremost, I love and I really relate to the idea that you're saying that you might not find, like, one form of meditation might not work for everyone. Right. So, there's certain voices or tone music that you're like, yeah, that's like annoying me. It's not making me peaceful. Right. So, like, definitely put in the time to do it. And if you're not finding it for yourself, then maybe you create your own meditation. Maybe you record yourself, or maybe you take a snippet of a song and you just, play that for yourself. And so, yeah, I definitely agree with music as being a form of instant kind of calming and soothing for yourself. Also, I would say that you have to remember that, like, even if you set a schedule for yourself, like, I've been really bad with wanting to say, hey, I'm going to do this every day, and I haven't. I fit it in maybe once or twice, a couple of times a week. Stop shaming yourself in between, right? I think that because that's more stressful. If you're like, I have a schedule and I'm not sticking to it. Okay, well, instead of like shaming yourself, let's take a step back. Why aren't you, being able to stick to the schedule that you set in time for yourself? And so for me, a big proponent of why I'll miss it is like, cause I just overachieving, right? Like, on my to-do list, my daily to-do list could be anywhere between 10 to 40 items of things that I need to accomplish. And that's just it's not doable. It's not reasonable. Right. And so being really cognizant of what do I need to do versus what do I want to do? And my needs need to be, 1 to 5 items, nothing that cannot be done in the day. Right. So making sure that you're doing that distinction. And, I would also say being very mindful of the people you have in your life. Like, meditation was not something that I grew up doing or really even knowing about. I have a good friend, a very good friend, who introduced me to this, and so grateful for that wisdom and insight, and been able to, like, say, hey, this is something that I think is also making me feel good. Right. And so are you talking and associating with people that are bringing positive changes in your life? Right. Instead of the girl and the complaining and the, all of that stuff. But, like, are you talking to people that are sharing positive books for you to read about? Are you talking to people that are giving you insights on different, self-care regimens that you can take part in, or events that might be enlightening, or programs? Like, so really being mindful about the people in your life, because that's also going to help you elevate personally or professionally. So those are just things I would think about. And then, just be excited to do this, right? I think, like you said, some people get a little bit weird or wonky about it. There's nothing weird about loving yourself. There's nothing weird about caring for yourself, right? Health is wealth, meaning everything you want to do stems from you being able to physically and mentally be able to do it. So if you don't take care of your physical and mental health and your spiritual health, you will really suffer in the quality of life that you build out for yourself. So, you can fight it, but you're just going up a very long mountain unnecessarily. Take our advice, heed it, try it out, right? Instead of saying no, try to find a way to say yes and try this. Do it a couple of times, do it for 21 days, create a habit for yourself, and then make the determination. Is this something for you? Is it not for you? And, I'm going to really struggle to find someone who's going to be like, I found peace in a minute, and that was really offensive to me. Like, okay.
Right.
Okay. So with that, is there anything else that you wanted to share, or, any updates for things that you're doing, campaigns or things that you'd love for people to tune in or share?
A couple things coming up. Again, my main platform is Instagram. So be sure to tune in there at faith_plus fashion, or head to my website, faithcosta.com, and you can connect with me anywhere through there.
Perfect. Yeah. And for me, I would say definitely check out the blog, dressroommate.com. It's the best place where you're going to get all my content. You can get all my social media handles as well. And I would say, Faith is also open to doing programming on other people's platforms. And she's just a really great influencer, guys. So if you're looking from a company perspective or a collaboration perspective, make sure you hit her up on that. And with that, I think this is just going to be our saying goodbye, which is so sad.
I know. Oh, this was great.
Very fun. Very fun. Absolutely. Are you have any like fun plans you're thinking about for summer, as hopefully things with COVID get a little bit better? What are your thoughts?
Hopefully gonna get to the beach, get
Nice.
some sun, and hopefully, I'm all vaccinated. And so is my family. Yes.
Good.
Great things. So hopefully life can continue on soon.
Good.
How about you?
Yeah, so this summer our baby boy is due. So he's due in June 25th. But I was just telling Faith earlier before we started, he's a big boy already. So we'll see if he comes earlier. And for us, I guess the biggest thing I'm looking forward to is, just like starting this whole new experience with this like little person, or this big little person.
Big boy.
Who's gonna just shape me and my husband's life in our whole family's life in a whole new way. And I'm just excited to just have summer with him and like see him smile and spit up on me and throw his boom boom, all that's all that delicious gross stuff that babies do. But
well, I'm so excited to see it.
I know. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to document every minute of it, because at the baby shower, people are like, it goes by in a minute. So really want to document it. So he's like, Mom, why did you put me in that bear outfit? Like, because you were my little bear. You were so yummy.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I'm excited. And then him learning to swim and like all of that good stuff. I'm going to try to just soak in motherhood and just like, can't get enough of it.
Oh my gosh.
So I'll be taking a little bit break from like living, for the summer and stuff like that. But I'll be back like a storm in the fall, and hopefully he'll either be next to me or strapped to me, and we'll just talk together. We'll see how that goes.
Well, baby influencer. We gotta get it.
Get it. Listen, he's got to pay for college. Absolutely. Let's get it. So, I don't know if you think everybody needs a job here. Get a job and let's do this.
Do it.
He'll learn. He'll learn the Jamaican way. He'll learn. But thank you, Faith, for joining me. Thank you for doing a meditation with me. Thank you for everyone who did. Absolutely. It's been fun, guys. We'll see you soon, okay?
All right. Bye.
Bye.